Transmitting live from a tower atop the Taco Bell in Haddonfield, Illinois. This is the Robert Dyer Channel Halloween Countdown 2022. And now, a man who will be playing Texas Chainsaw Massacre on the Atari 2600 all night long, Robert Dyer. Hi everybody, Robert Dyer, and welcome to the Robert Dyer Channel Halloween Countdown, where today I have, I think, one of the more interesting products that we'll be seeing on the countdown this year. This is from a local brewery here in Montgomery County, Maryland. It is from the Brookeville Beer Farm, which is out in, not surprisingly, Brookeville. A very interesting part of the county if you've ever been out that way. It's one of the obviously rural areas of the county. I've been to the Brookeville Beer Farm, and this is their Oktoberfest beer, Hugelkultur, 5% alcohol by volume, so it is not that strong of a beer, more of a lager. There are obviously a lot of Oktoberfest beers out there, but this actually does have a number of German ingredients in it. It has Pilsner, German Vienna, and Munich malts, and the addition of German Magnum hops, so you have some authentic ingredients originating from Germany. And of course I have German ancestors, so I like that. And the head brewer at the Brookeville Beer Farm says this is by far his favorite of the beers that they make, so it comes highly recommended, I think. Okay, so let's take a closer look at the packaging here. You can see it says Beer Farm, Brookeville, Maryland. Established 2015, limited edition Oktoberfest. You can see the font is a appropriately orange color, 2022, and then you have a variety of falling autumn leaves as they change color for the season. And you have the umlaut over the U there. And then here you have the state of Maryland and the location of where it was brewed. You have this little message. And then you have the email address and all the social media website, brookevillebeerfarm.com. Before I get started, I have to give a quick shout out to several friends of the channel. Mariah from Ohio, a longtime viewer, and Jack, Dustin, Smokey Joe, and Nemo. And that makes me think about Little Nemo from the Capcom game for the NES, one of the great games of all time. Thanks to each one of you for supporting the channel. And if you would like a shout out, all you need to do is order any of the merchandise at the store you see below this screen. And then if you post a photo and tag me on it on social media, you too will have a shout out here on the channel. Now let's go ahead, and I have this chilled to a precise 33 degrees, and this is the Beer Farm is in Brookeville, where you can go to try the beers and have events there as well. But also it is brewed in Jessup, Maryland, another great town in the state of Maryland. If you've ever been there. There she blows. The aroma, definitely on the sweeter side, I would have to say. Sort of a combination between, I would say, like a sweet bread and an apple muffin. Now let's go ahead and pour this into the finest bachelor's glassware. And you can see you have a head of about an inch right now. Right now a cloudy, sort of a caramel color. Still a pretty sweet aroma. And you've got that little, pretty much your standard beer aroma on the back end of it. A little slightly, it's a slight hint of a nut. The head is dissipating, getting down to about 1 millimeter now. Let's go ahead and see how it tastes. Well, I'd say it's fairly dry. It's definitely a little darker than a Budweiser or Miller Lite or something like that. It's sort of a caramel apple cider color and appearance, but definitely a darker flavor. Much like the aroma, certainly a note of bread, but also that kind of a, just a very slight smoky element to the flavor, that little bit of darker flavor to it that does make this a good fall beer, I think. It's not as sweet as I expected from the aroma, however. Just when you thought it was safe to get back in bed, live from the Charles Manson Institute for Strategic Studies in Huber Heights, Ohio, this is Spooky News. I'm your host, TarnationBob. There's been much discussion over the last 6 years of a mysterious book about the adventures of Baron Trump, a book whose stories appear to predict the future. A man named Trump becoming the president, living in New York City, and a number of other bizarre coincidences, combined with the fact that Trump's uncle was given the Nikola Tesla papers and may be in a position to know about many technological advances that were never released to the public or developed. Speculation has arisen, rumors, discussions. Has Trump been traveling through time? What does he know? What uses has he put it to? And now, for the first time today, we have the photographs showing Trump making his historic trip through time in an experimental time machine. or your windows shut tight, or your doors locked. If not, you just might be the next story on Spooky News. Good night. That hits the spot. Hits the spot.
Hits the spot. Woo!
Well, I'll say that this is always good to buy local, and you have something that's a little out of the ordinary, that's not mass produced all over the country. It certainly fits the bill for an Oktoberfest beer. I think it's going to go very well with any sort of German sausages that you might have, any type of standard Oktoberfest dish. It's going to go well with that. The overall flavor profile, I think has the bread and the sweet element to it. It has a slight, almost fruity element, a nutty element to it, a slight bitterness and darkness to it, as well as I think that sort of a smoky dark element that's going to work well if you're out at the bonfire somewhere. Or if I'm hearing correctly, I believe they're even serving this at one of the haunted forest attractions here in the county. So it would certainly fit very well for that, or to drink while you're watching your Halloween movies on TV, or waiting for the next doorbell to ring for the trick-or-treaters. So, along with there isn't a whole lot of extensive design to the packaging, but what's there is pretty good, I think. Certainly a fall theme, and having those authentic German ingredients. I'm going to go ahead and give this a solid 4 stars out of 5. A great beer for Oktoberfest and for Halloween. So I hope you like this video. Share it with your friends. Please subscribe, and I'll see you next time on this Halloween countdown. Bye, everybody.